Welcome to Complete Guitar Lessons. I'm Brad Allen. I'm a professional musician who's also spent over 10 years teaching private guitar lessons. Now I'm trying to pass along all that knowledge to you. Today we're going to be talking about how to do vibrato on guitar. Vibrato is an important technique, especially if you're interested in playing rock guitar or blues guitar. It's a sound, it's a technique that's very characteristic of the style, so it's important to learn. Also, wanted to mention once more, if you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell to be notified when I'm releasing a new video. I'm releasing these on a regular basis, and I don't want you to miss any of them. We are going to start in the middle of the neck because, as I've mentioned in other videos, that's the easiest place to learn a lot of these techniques. The strings are looser there and simply easier to play. So we're going to start on the 7th fret and we're going to start on the 3rd string. Basically what vibrato is, if you listen to a great singer, you'll hear as they're holding a note, a lot of times the note will kind of go up and down in pitch just a little bit. It's really a pleasant sound if it's done correctly. And on the guitar, if you use a little bit of vibrato when you're holding notes, it also creates a nice tone, a nice effect, sometimes more interesting than just holding the note. So here is what it sounds like. If I don't do the vibrato, it sounds like this. It just kind of sits there. So how do we do that? I find it's easiest to learn with the first finger, the index finger. Basically what you're doing here is you are bending the note slightly, and you're bending the string downward on all the strings except for the first string, when we'll talk about that in a minute. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm making a downward motion with my wrist. So it's not just finger, I'm actually rotating on my thumb, just like that. This can be done fast, it can be done slow, it can also be done with a real narrow bend or a really wide bend. And all those things are going to change, they're going to give you a different sound. One time I heard B.B. King speaking and he said, he tried to play his vibrato as fast as he possibly could. I don't especially like that sound. That's not really my style. To me that sounds kind of nervous, but again, that's just not my thing. I like more of kind of a slow vibrato. And that's more characteristic of a lot of the rock guitarists I listen to. Try to move your wrist without making any sound at first. Then play the note. And then try it nice and slow, just slight bends. And it works the same on every string. Try it a little faster, maybe a little wider, a little narrower. Once you have it down with the first finger, then I recommend trying the second finger. I found that to be a little more difficult. Once you have the first one down, you have that feeling. It's not too hard to do it with the second finger. I find that I got to get up on my fingertips a little more for the second and third finger. Once you have the second finger, try to get comfortable with that on different strings. And then try your third finger, your ring finger. Now, if you're going to do it on the first string, as I mentioned earlier, instead of bending down, you're going to bend up. And here's why. If I go to do a vibrato or go to bend the string down, here's what happens. It just comes off the fretboard. So you're going to have to bend up and do your vibrato up to do vibrato on that first string. Now, the motion of the wrist is going to be like this. And for me personally, that was a little bit awkward. And so what I'd recommend, maybe try these strings first. Once you have those down, pretty well, then start working on that first string. What you want to do, again, is you want to bend up. And I'm using, again, my whole wrist. I have the thumb on the back of the neck and I'm just pivoting that wrist. Do it nice and slow at first. It's not a speed contest. You don't necessarily have to do it super fast, but if you would like to work up your speed some more, what I'd recommend is think of those as eighth notes and work with a metronome. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then move your metronome up a little bit faster. And that way, once you get your speed worked up a little bit, you have a little bit of choice there, how fast you want to do your vibrato. After you've mastered, or you have it down to a certain extent at least, you have it down with the first finger on that first string, then try the second finger, again in the same way. And again, notice I'm moving my wrist. I'm exaggerating a little bit just for effect, but basically, it's not just a finger motion, it's a wrist motion. I'm moving my wrist like that. Same way with the third string. So you're going to practice like that on each string with each finger until that's, pretty comfortable for you. The next step is you start learning to work that into your playing. And what I would recommend is use our old friend, the minor pentatonic scale, just the box shape that I've talked about in some of the other videos. And basically you're going to start soloing on that, playing little patterns, and every time you stop on a note or hold a note, you're going to do vibrato. Okay, so again, I'm on the 7th fret here. So if I'm going to play my minor pentatonic scale, so I could try this. Then I could start working with my second finger. I could slide like this. And then try your third finger. One thing I should mention, I don't use my pinky for vibrato. I don't think too many players do. That's really awkward to me. So what I do is, here's my normal fingering for that minor pentatonic scale. I just basically change the fingering when I get up there. I might use my ring finger on that string if I wanted to use vibrato or bending. There are several different ways actually of doing vibrato, but that's a good way to get you started. So practice doing that on the minor pentatonic scale, get some control of that, start using it in your solos. Then you can start incorporating that into your major pentatonic scale as well. That's all I have for today, and we will see you next time.